Hey guys, welcome to the last episode of Season 1 of Records Near Me. I hope you've enjoyed this season so far, as we've been all over the place. But once again, we're ending our journey at home in Athens, Georgia. In this second part of the season finale, we'll be getting a little bit of a different perspective than usual. Today's guest is Maxwell Mahieu, the youngest employee at Wuxtry Records in charge of social media and fellow University of Georgia student. As you heard last episode, his band, the Asymptomatics, were kind enough to record their own version of the Records Near Me theme song. So make sure you check out their other music because they rock. Stay tuned to hear Maxwell talk about his experience working at Wuxtry Records as well as what it's like to be a part of the Athens music scene right now. And once again, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the last episode of Records Near Me Season 1.
Records near me, let's go and see what lies behind a record store's mind. If you're lost, get found. Take in the sound. It's a place to go when you're feeling low. So if you don't mind, we'll share what we find. I'll make a podcast so all this will last. If you're lost, get found. Take in the sound. It's a place to go. So let's start the show. Let's go!
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Records Near Me. Today I'm with Maxwell Mahieu, student musician and social media intern at Wuxtry Records. Is that the right?
Well, they promoted me from an intern. Now I get paid though, which is nice.
Oh my gosh, so what's your official title now?
We don't know. I do the social media. I sometimes work at the cash register, and then now, more recently, I've been upstairs, like, helping them with finance stuff, because apparently they're like, oh, you're in Terry, you know how to do business stuff, so I'm helping them, like, do accounting stuff now, and, like, finance stuff. Like, just like, keeping track of all their numbers, because they're super, kind of a little bit, like, old-fashioned with their stuff. Like, I don't know, you've been in a lot, and you know they have to write down in pen and paper every record you buy. That's because there's no digital, like, anything. So I'm helping them, like, digitalize, like, how much they spend and how much money comes in, and, like, helping them so when tax season comes, they're not, like, shitting themselves.
Well, thank goodness for Maxwell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you just got off of work. How was your shift?
It was fun. Today we actually did something pretty cool. So we're trying, like, we've done this in the past, have, like, when there's music events, like artists coming to the Georgia Theater and the 40 Watt, they're pretty notable, and we have the records at the store. We're trying to now, like, reach out to them and see if they want to come and do, like, an in-store signing, or maybe an in-store, like performance. Because it's happened in the past. Like, the last one was, I guess, 2011, they had Kurt Vile come in and do an in-store, like, acoustic session, which is really cool. And they've had, like, signings, like, Peter Buck from REM has been in a couple times doing signings, but we haven't, like, in the past, like, 5 years, we haven't really had, like, a band come in and do something. So we spent the day just, like, reaching out to touring managers and booking agents and being like, hey, do you guys want to do something?
So you're in charge of social media, you also do finance. Is that what your everyday looks like? Do you kind of hang behind the counter, or?
Yeah. So when I first started, it happened with, like, it was for, like, one of my marketing classes at UGA. It was, like, a marketing research class, and the task of the class, there was, like, a project that would go the whole semester, was to reach out to, like, a local business and ask them if they needed help gathering, like, data on something to improve, like, store income or just improve operations at the store. So, like, a lot of people in the class were like, ooh, they would just go to, like, some sandwich shop or, like, a smoothie place. I was like, that sounds so lame. Like, why don't you pick, like a more interesting store than, like, a pepperoni pizza shop? You know, even Little Italy would be cool, but, like, people were doing, like, their ideas were, like, really boring stores. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna, like, come up with my own ideas. So I was like, okay, why don't we do Wuxtry? That sounds pretty, it was like, it might be a long shot, we reached out to Nate, the manager that you've interviewed.
He's super cool.
And he was actually super down for like just having some free help from some students. So yeah, throughout the semester we like asked him some questions. Like we kind of got like a rundown of how the store operates and what they do and what he wants to improve upon. And then from that we like we created like a big survey that we'd sent out to a bunch of students and just everyone in the Athens area to kind of get some input on like what they would want to see from a record store and like what Nate was wanting to see. And we like pretty much just pitched like a kind of store improvement project at the end of the semester. And it was like, honestly, that was just a start. We didn't like make a whole ton of changes. We didn't make any changes at all. It was just like, oh, you should have a social media account.
Yeah.
We do. And so he was like, but you're right, we should have a social media account. And I was the one that kind of like spearheaded talking to him. So I had his like number and stuff. So then I ended up just like texting him and be like, well, speaking of, if you want to do like social media stuff, I could help. So then he was like, oh, actually, okay. And then he was like, well, we can't pay you. I was like, I don't care. I'll do it for free. Because the fact that they were having anyone, I was like, yeah.
That's a big deal.
I was like, I don't care. And so, yeah, I started doing the social media. Like, we got the website running and, like, kind of refurbished. And, yeah, just Facebook and Instagram. Just trying to do, like, more consistent posts. Like, we do, like, the staff picks every week. We try to do, like, more history posts if there's ever, like, a big anniversary of, like, a record. So anytime there's, like, something notable that happens and we have it on vinyl, it's like, I think it's cool to showcase.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely noticed an improvement though. Like since you came on, I'm like, wow, Wuxtry's popping. Like
Thanks.
with the Instagram now. Yeah, good job.
Done some fun stuff. The biggest success was probably when we had the REM single, like that, like they were re-releasing their first single, the Hip Tone single. Mm-hmm. They had like a 40 or 35 years. I think it was probably 40. It was a 40-year like anniversary, and they like reprinted them, and they had a big like midnight party kind of thing. And they used to do the midnight release parties like a lot more in like the early 2000s and the 90s and stuff. In the 80s, like they would do like release parties at night. So this was the first time we'd done it in a while, and I think it was like after like we hadn't been able to do things because of COVID and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was awesome. We had like so many people out at night. Like there was like pizza and beer at it was like a party. It was fun. I brought my sister and mom. We were like, woo!
Oh, that sounds so fun.
And they played like a bunch of really old REM recordings from like their first public show in Atlanta. It's like really kind of unseen footage. It was cool. It was really entertaining, and like a lot of like people, like a lot of like old people that have been through, like seen it all, like been there through all of it. And we're like, yeah, I remember that back in my day.
Yeah, you're just sitting there amazed, and they're like, oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm having so much FOMO because I actually remember when that event was going on, and I was out of town for something, so I couldn't go. So hearing about it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Sounds like the coolest thing ever.
It was so fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Then that was really good for the social media presence, because that was when like REM like tagged Wuxtry in the store. Oh. So like we got like interaction from people all around the world. Like thousands of people saw it. So that was really cool.
That's amazing. Wow. So obviously music seems to be a really big part of your life. Do you remember the first concert you ever went to? Or the best concert you've ever been to?
Best concert?
Either is fine.
I feel so... Okay, so I saw the Fleet Foxes when I was like in... I think it was in like middle school. And I like feel so bad because I didn't appreciate it enough, and I like fell asleep during this show. And this is like middle school.
Yeah.
But now I'm going again to see them in like a couple weeks at I think at the Coca-Cola Roxy at like the end of like next week. We're gonna go see them.
That's a full circle right there.
Yeah, and now I'm excited to like not fall asleep. An interesting fact about the Fleet Foxes is kind of funny. So my cousin has a dog, like a really smart border collie. He's like an erotic border collie. Like I don't know, border collies can get weird when they're like.
Okay.
So this border collie like it goes full circle. This border collie has like a singing, like it like howls whenever it hears like music almost, but this howling and singing, he like has been singing along to the Fleet Foxes his whole life. His name's Wilson, and like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it started with the Fleet Foxes. Like anytime we would put on one of their records, we would just start like howling, like woo, like look at the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
you know, I think that means they like the music.
Mm-hmm, I think so too. And it was all the Fleet Foxes stuff, and like other artists, not really. Now he's kind of like anytime he hears music, he sings, and now it's gotten kind of annoying. But it started as just a Fleet Foxes like kind of cute like party trick. But then,
That
so
is
my
so
cousin went to
cute.
see them at a concert and like met them outside after like before the concert,
Mhm.
and they sang a little bit for the dog, and then Wilson was singing with them like in person.
I love that
And
so
it's the
much.
sweetest dog ever. So that was.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But now he just sings every time we like put him in the car, and
Aw.
especially if it's Fleet Foxes, it's like, oh my god.
That's the funniest thing. Oh my god, I love dogs. They're so like weird.
He's
in
so
a
nice.
Great way.
He gives like he's the most like human-like dog. Like his emotions are so human-like. He'll give you like a hug, like if he sees you, like hop up on your leg and like hug you. It's just such a nice dog. Yeah.
So, Wuxtry has a history of hiring local musicians.
Yeah.
And I feel like you fit into that category.
Okay, this is like the hilarious thing. Is like, cause yeah, like when Peter Buck was like 18 when he like first got to Athens, he like worked at Wuxtry and like right when they were getting REM started and everything. And then one of the B-52s, it was Kate. Yeah, okay. Kate worked there, and then Sydney's been back for like signings and stuff. And who else? Okay, yeah, Danger Mouse worked there, and he's still like friends with all of them, and he big time producer. He produced a Parquet Courts record, which I thought was really interesting because I was like big fan of Parquet Courts. I was like looking up this record. I think it was Wide Awake, and he produced a record. I was like, oh, that's cool. Nice like home connection, I guess.
Yeah.
And then and then John Fernandez is working there. Yeah, from Olivia Tremor Control. So really like all the generations. Always the music people are working there, which is fun, and that's why I'm like, you guys want to hire me?
Oh my god!
but I'm like honored. I'm like, oh, I love the court. Like it's a big honor. Like I feel like it feels like super special to be able to work there. So like every day I'm like, it doesn't feel like work. I'm like, holy shit, I get to go to Wuxtry. That's awesome.
That's a dream when it doesn't feel like work.
It's really fun. Yeah,
I feel that though because when Nate said yes to letting me interview him, I was like, really?
Yeah, I know. It's such it's 46 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So what I wanted you to talk about though is your band, Maxwell.
Oh, the Asymptomatics.
Yeah.
Well, we just announced today that we're playing at the Georgia Theater. We're opening for Jameson Tank, and we're playing with Calico. They're from Atlanta, but they have Athens ties. But yeah, the homie Jameson, he gave us our first opening spot at the 40 Watt like 2 years ago now, and now we're playing at the Georgia Theater with him. So stepping up, we're moving together up. It's really cool. We're really excited to play at the Georgia Theater.
Oh, that's so exciting.
We're gonna try to bring as many people as we can out, of course. Like it's actually gonna be our last show with like some of the current lineup. Like our drummer and saxophone are kind of moving on. Yeah. But like which is kind of sad. Yeah. So it's gonna be our last show with the full like the kind of original lineup. But it's okay. It's we're gonna try to make it as big and as fun as possible. Crazy costume. We don't know what we're doing yet, but it'll be something weird and wild. Yeah, that's fun. We'll do we have a bunch of new original stuff, and we're gonna do some weird wacko covers that we always do, all the weird stuff. It'll be fun. I really hope I can make it. That sounds it's awesome. Like the second Tuesday of school, so stuff shouldn't be too crazy then yet. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. So is this will be the first time for you performing at the Georgia Theater then, right? Yeah. First time. So exciting. It is pretty. It hasn't really hit me yet, but that's like I mean, I was looking at the Georgia Theater schedule today, and it was like Jameson and the Asymptomatics and Calico, like on that date, and then the next date was the War on Drugs, and it was like, what? Yeah, this is cool. You're on the same like schedule, same schedule as all these huge bands. I think that's super cool. It's amazing. It's also really cool to see because I remember we saw you guys for the first time at Boar's Head. You did? Yeah, and I don't think you guys were just doing covers still. Yeah, definitely. We probably had one song that was like half of it's like just Freebird on accident. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I think I was there for the Jameson Tank, the 40 Watt, because when I saw I saw it was Jameson Tank, I was like, oh, I think I've seen them before. And when you said that, I was like, okay, yeah, definitely. The one with Fun Room, it was us, Jameson, and Fun Room. That was like 2 years ago now. Yeah, the first time. Okay, I feel like it was. Well, we were at that one. That was Jameson gave us our first break, actually our first public showing at a big show. So that was really exciting, and we've been working hard like ever since. My mom played at that show. She hopped on. If you were there, you would remember my mom in like a pink wig, sunglasses, and like an LCD sound system tank top. And she came on.
Mom? That's amazing.
And then she came on and did the our last song was the Beatles' "The End" song, and she did the drum solo and did it.
Your mom sounds amazing.
She gives a lot of musical inspiration. Like honestly, like everything I know about music is like she. Like I grew up on like a lot of like 2000s indie rock stuff. That's all my parents listened to. So I learned a lot from the kind of current music. She's always like tuning into like Sirius XMU and like finding like new albums. She likes to keep current, which is cool. Keeps me current too.
That's awesome.
Isn't that like lame to say about your mom? But she Ringo mom is like she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And she can play music. She can play instruments too.
That's so cool.
It's fun.
Wow. So you came from kind of a musical family a little bit?
Yeah.
Or just your mom?
Like, I mean, my whole family is really into music, like, and like new indie music and stuff, but not necessarily like playing wise.
Yeah.
Like, my mom plays a little bit, but her parents, they're kind of like they're old. Like they're like my grandpa's like 92 now. So, but he actually went to UGA in like the 40s, which is interesting. And then my mom went in the 80s. Wow. But they're really, like, her parents are really into opera and, like, wouldn't let her get, like, a drum set or a guitar. They're like, I hate the sound of guitar. So she, like, was never really to live out her dream when she was growing up. But now when she got older and had us, she took drum lessons, guitar lessons, she learned it all. And then she threw it on me. And, like,
I bet she's so proud of you.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
She's living vicariously. She's the manager pretty much.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. So I was going to ask, do you have a favorite music venue in Athens?
40 Watt Club.
40 Watt, that's your favorite?
So. Yeah, because it's just all the history there. There's Georgia Theater is nice, but like the history is really cool. And like the quote about like when they first opened it, like there's like the pylon guys and they would charge like $5 or like $3 regular, or no, $2 regular admission, like $3 if you were a nerd or something like that. That's cool. And then they said like at the early like shows at the first or second location, it was just like hot and sweaty, and it was just woo. That's cool. And the Georgia Theater is great. Like now they get like the biggest acts now, which is really nice too. But like the history of the 40 Watt is really interesting to me.
Yeah. So one thing that I think is so cool, watching you perform, it's clear that you are loving it, and that's what makes it so fun for everybody else. You know, if you're having fun, we're having fun.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, like, why? Because I mean, I have stage fright, so it's mind-boggling to me how you're able to do it. What makes you love it so much? Like,
I have stage fright too. Like honestly,
I wouldn't ever believe that. When we first started
playing, I would get so nauseous before we played. But then once I get up there, I just kind of like throw myself out of the bird's nest. I'm like, go fly! And honestly,
literally jumping off the stage.
All the stage antics honestly make me not nervous because I don't know. I just go up there like thinking about it like. It's just fun. Like, this is a performance. Just do it. And it's fun to see, like, other people's reaction. That, like, makes me feel like when, like, cracking people out of their own shell when they're, like, because a lot of people like to go to, like, concerts and stuff, just, like, stand there, like, cross-armed and, like, frowning. But just to crack that shell and crack them open and, like, make them smile, that's fun. And that, like, gets rid of any nerves or anything.
And you're good at it.
It's fun. Thank you. I don't know. I just kind of, I just kind of, like, I don't even remember a lot of the shows. I kind of just like do my thing and like I see videos. I'm like, nice. Sometimes I'm like, oh, don't do that again.
Hey, I mean, live and learn. That's what it's for.
Like,
oh my gosh.
You know, one time we were at the warehouse and I like took my shirt off. My mom was like, keep the shirt on next time. Like no one needs to see that. Like okay.
Hey, you gotta have the ones close to you. Keep it real. Otherwise, like.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then she's like, hey, maybe like take a dance lesson or something sometimes. Maybe I would honestly. I'm a bad dancer. Like I would. I mean, maybe like a little bit more choreography would be something to learn. I don't know.
So you've talked a little bit about the asymptomatics already, but I want to know. So how did you guys start? How did you guys decide you wanted to start a band and come up with a name? Also,
as every band starts in your mom's basement.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
We started in like and that's so I think I mentioned earlier Ringo Mom. That's what we call my mom, Ringo Mom, because she was our first drummer, and like a lot of the first things we did was it was just all cover stuff, and like the first like set we learned was like the B side of Abbey Road, like the "You Never Give Me Your Money" all the way to the end, like the big like one long song, and that was like the first thing we learned, and she drummed on that, and that like kind of forced everyone to like learn their instruments. Because it has a lot of it has horns, it has piano, it has a lot of pieces. So that kind of like forced everyone to learn like a pretty difficult piece of music and like kind of got everyone started.
Wow.
Like our bassist, like Sebastian, I was going to Idaho over that summer just for like 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, Sebastian, here's the bass. Better learn me, Mr. Mustard, and Polythene Pam by the time I come back. He was like, okay. And now he's a really good bass player.
Wow.
He didn't know how to play at all back then. So
wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So we just learned through like fun covers like that, and like we started kind of in the basement just when like the pandemic hit and we were all home and had nothing to do, and so we just like met every day pretty much, and we started with just like cover sets, like because everyone was like, I mean, I never sang before. I played piano and I was in band since like middle school, but never. It was all classical stuff, you know. So I knew like music theory, but I never like did like rock and roll stuff. So I had to learn all these like kind of like we did a lot of 70s tunes, like we did, and the Beatles thing, that was the first thing we learned. Then we did like some Allman Brothers stuff. That was really good for learning like piano stuff. Like that helped me get so much better at piano, was learning like the Chuck Leavell like Allman Brother parts. So that helped me a lot. And then we did like a little bit of Velvet Underground. Like just ran. We did like Killer Queen. That was in the very early stuff we learned. But yeah, all in the basement. And then my mom came up with a name. She came down during practice, was like, I got the name, Asymptomatics. We were like, yo! There was like a good like 6 months we were like, oh, maybe the name is kind of weird. But then I ended up talking to, I was interviewing David Barbie for a Wuxtry post talking about his work in the Barbecue Killers and his bands that he played with when he was around. And then I was talking to him about our band, Asymptomatics, and he was like, and I was telling him how our guitarist didn't want the name, and he was like, you know what? Kids these days are soft. He was like, I think that's a fucking awesome name. That is great marketing, and you gotta keep that. Because if you don't, I'm gonna steal it. That's what he said. Yeah. So he was like, keep the goddamn name. It's good.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, sold. I mean, that's it. Do you remember where was the first place you guys ever performed?
Cozy Bar.
Cozy Bar.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
That was a hilarious show. Sounded awful, but it was awesome. We were all stacked on top of each other, and all of our friends came in. Cozy Bar is not big.
Yeah.
and people came, and it was like when live music was just really starting again. Yeah. So like people came from the streets and stuff, and it was packed. And Cozy Bar was like, at first, so have you met Miss Cozy? She's one that slings the sake bombs. Oh, yeah, she's like the owner. She's had this store I think since 2002, so it's been around a while. She's been in Athens for a minute. Her and Kingsley, like the main bartender there. And at first they weren't gonna pay us, and then we brought in so many people that gave us $50, and we were like, the first paycheck.
That's amazing! Oh my gosh.
That was a really fun show, and that was just like the cover stuff. It was like hilarious. It was a shit show, but it was a great shit show.
Yeah, that sounds like a great shit show.
It was really fun.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was at Cozy Bar. That's cool. That's cool.
We played at Boards a couple times, and then a couple, I guess, really, we did play at Boards a couple times, and Jameson asked us to play the 41. And
nice.
It was like, woo!
Yeah. That was awesome. Oh, my goodness. So Wuxtry has a staff picks section. What would go in your staff picks section?
I recently did get a section, which is nice.
Oh my gosh! You got promoted from intern. You're paid now, and you get a staff picks section.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh!
Maxwell's staff picks under construction. I like 4 things in there. It's just kind of the records that like my family will listen to, like the 2000s indie stuff. I have currently it's like a Pinback record, an LCD sound system record. The new Avalanche is one that came out like a year or so ago. We really like that one, and then there was like a Wilco one in there. Just it's just records that like I have like kind of like sentimental like attachment to, that like I've been kind of like raised on kind of deal, which is nice.
I love the staff pick section. That is just, it's so helpful, and I love that there's little notes on them.
Yeah, they do such nice. They're so good at talking about the records too.
They are.
I love. They're always, whenever I ask them to do a staff pick, they're like, "Oh man, I don't know what to say about it, but it's probably pretty cathartic, pummeling. And then they go on, they like say they don't know what to say about it, and then they'll go on some huge, extremely informative tangent. Yeah. I use their staff picks to like figure out what
Educate
I'm gonna listen
yourself?
to. Yeah,
That's what I do.
Educate myself. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna go home and listen to this.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Well, I think I pretty much asked everything that I wanted to. Is there anything that I didn't talk about that you think I should have?
No, I think that was pretty good. You did a great job. That was fun.
All right. Well, sweet. Thank you so much to everyone that listened to this first season of Records Near Me. It's been a fun project and a long time in the making. I do plan to have a second season coming out sometime in the new year, this time focusing on different stores within Georgia. I mean, there are so many to choose from. I've learned so much from this season and can't wait to make the next one even better. So, if you like this podcast, make sure to like or follow Records Near Me on your favorite listening platform so you don't miss any updates. It's been a pleasure. Until next year, this has been Records Near Me. And for those of you wondering how an amateur like me can randomly decide to make a podcast, I've been using Anchor by Spotify. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. And it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Best of all though, Anchor is totally free. So if you want to make a podcast like me, just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.